instead. My name is Troy Andrew. I'm a commissioner here, and I just want to, all the other commissioners, we want to welcome you here. Tonight is really for us to hear from you, and so we're going to do a lot less talking, and hopefully you'll do a lot of talking. This is really a time for you and the citizens of Garden City to express your concerns or express your congratulations or talk about some things you'd like to see change in our city. So we do have a mic up front. If you will come and state your name, that's going to be the best, and that way so everyone can hear you and get that recorded. Later on, during about the middle part of the meeting, we're going to ask again if there's anything from social media or that's been emailed in and get those comments or those questions too. So anyone who would like to start? All right, please come up forward.
My name is Maddie Burns, and my concern.
We'll get the microphone down.
Okay,
Okay,
my name is Maddie Burns, and my concern is why not having the bikes and skateboards allowed at the park behind my house, and that's not cool. Maybe you should just put lanes like they have in California for bikes and walkers.
So do you know what park that is? Do you know what the name of the park is?
Harold Long.
Carol Long.
Okay.
And you guys decided that it's a good idea to have just walkers go through there.
So you'd like to be able to see people be able to bike and skateboard, and your idea is to have additional lanes for them.
Yes, like they have in California.
Like they have in California. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. Well, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
your
you for your
comment.
concern.
No, everyone has to be that energetic. So otherwise, we set the bar very high.
So I was gonna say, I don't know if I have the energy to be jumping around like that.
Thank you.
Again, Ali Medina, thank you commissioners for allowing us the opportunity to speak. I am here speaking on behalf of the Cultural Relations Board. We did not have board members that could be in attendance, but they did send a list of questions that they wanted us to present to you, as well as some information. So the Cultural Relations Board meets monthly to discuss the cultural diversity that affects the community, and each year the board sets goals to achieve, and those are built around connecting and informing all community members about the challenges, celebrations, and successes of all populations in our community. And our CRB members sit on boards, community groups, and more that help connect that group to diverse populations. Our members are an asset to that board, and they bring a lot of knowledge to the Cultural Relations Board as well as to the city. And so as an advisory board to the City Commission, the CRB values that input and dialogue from you as commissioners. And so we have compiled a list of questions that we want to have considered. And it's really the direction that we want to look at the board. Again, we're setting those goals annually, looking at different topics that we feel affect the city, but really want to hear more input from you as commissioners. And so some of those questions that we're really looking at is what type of reports or information would commissioners like to see? Are there specific diversity initiatives that commissioners are interested in? Are there topics that the commissioners would like more information on from the CRB? What items would commissioners like to see at the Diversity Breakfast and Multicultural Summit? And if you haven't been to that event, it's an annual event where we do provide more information about specific cultures that are present here in Garden City. Also, what resources do you as commissioners feel we lack for immigrants or newcomers to our community? And should the CRB consider grant funding opportunities to assist in funding programs such as the Neighborhood Learning Center or the Ethnic Empowerment Network? And so I'm sure you've had the opportunity to read some of the Telegram articles about the Neighborhood Learning Center closing down. And so we do have representatives here to speak about that, as we don't have as much information as the Cultural Relations Board as we would like to have to be able to speak to that topic. But want to know, should we consider that grant funding opportunities, because we do feel like that's a valuable asset. We have used that to provide information, and even just to get resources, we use that for the Big Pool survey. That was one of the presenting locations, was that Neighborhood Learning Center. And then also any questions that you have about the Cultural Relations Board, we want to know what those questions are.
Do you have a list of the members, Ali, tonight? Can you list off the members, and then how are they selected? I was curious about
Sure. I do. I can list off those members for you, but we those are selected by their recommendations. They apply to the board. The Cultural Relations Board reviews those applications, and then the Cultural Relations Board in the last couple of years has requested that anyone that applies for those positions either submits answers to a series of questions, which is what community groups are you involved in, what different questions about their involvement in the community, or has them come to attend a meeting and present or answer those questions in person. And so the members that sit on that board are Amy Longa, Tracy Martinez, I think we have a couple of new members or new members that have just come off the board. Verna Weber is currently on that board. Make me think off the top of my head. Victor Harada, Vin Nguyen, and Patricia Long.
That sounds like a great board.
Yes.
So you're looking for input from us as commissioners on kind of your direction, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think, and some of those topics are things that you've been hearing either from community members or just that you're thinking of on those. And we don't need that information now. We just
Right.
wanted to give you those questions to think about because we would like to provide that information. I know we did present at a pre-meeting at last year. And so if that's something that would help, we'd be more than happy to do that again.
Yeah, I think that would be a good
I do
idea.
too.
Maybe what you guys could do is kind of give us your ideas on what you're thinking, and maybe we could come together on what we're hearing, and then kind of see, maybe come to the middle on, or put the two, all the ideas together and come out with something that maybe your board and our commission feels would be good for the whole community as a whole. And you're right, there's things that have changed over the last year in the community, so, but, yeah, good input.
Yeah, and I appreciate your diversity breakfast. I've been able to attend a couple of times. I mean, do you guys, and so that, I think that's a really great event and it has a really wide reach. Do you have a goal specifically for the diversity breakfast, or is it just to bring awareness? Or are you driving some of the points, or is that what you're hoping to do, or?
Yeah, I think at this last diversity breakfast, we looked at how do we get strategies into businesses as well as getting that information out to all community members. And it's kind of this two-way street of getting information about diverse populations to our community members as well as that sharing back and forth of information. So that's really the purpose of that event.
Okay.
I'm interested in just kind of what the feel of the board is, especially if there's some members here tonight that want to talk about it. But is it, we want to continue to promote these broad ideals about how we integrate cultures within our community, or do we want to move into more of, we have a specific goal that either we want to implement a certain program? I mean, I guess I'm wondering, is this still kind of in these big concepts? And I think like the diversity breakfast is a great example of this is something that we want to programmatically achieve every year, and a very set thing that the CRB is responsible for. Do we expand upon that now, bring another program into that, or another annual event, or is this more just kind of, well, we want to be a liaison to business. We want to be I guess that's kind of what I was looking for. As I heard those questions, I was like, are you wanting more specific driven goals, or still just kind of encouragement about the broad tenets of things that the CRB's worked on before?
I think we have both. And when we look at our goals, we have some very specific of, we want to get into the big pool. We want to make sure that we're promoting proper swimwear for all cultures. And what does that look like? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And so that's one of the very specific goals that the board has and has been working on. But then we also have these big, broad topics of promoting those diverse cultures and what does that look like? And so making sure that we're giving you the information that you need. I mean, I think because that's just a great example of us not providing that information to you. So making sure that you're well informed, and if there's information that you need as commissioners, that we're getting that to you.
And then you mentioned funding for the Neighborhood Learning Center, or I know that's changed, but, and we are in budget season. Is the board looking for funding this year, or is it something maybe in the future, or could you fill us in a little bit more on that?
Sure. Right now, we do have a budget that we use for sponsorships as well as for that annual event. And so that has continued. We still have that same budget request put in. I think with that recent with the recent announcement of the Neighborhood Learning Center closing, we've looked at some other options. And so that has been, there are grants available that could potentially be applied for. And our Cultural Relations Board members also sit on the Ethnic Empowerment Network, but that's not an established organization that could apply for those grant funds. So
Oh, I see. So
the Cultural Relations Board has looked at, can we apply for those grant funds with the commission's approval,
Okay.
and that be an option?
That makes sense.
Or do we look at funding from the city to then potentially fund some of those other programs? And so really looking at direction from you as commissioners on what does what are the goals, or are your ideas?
Okay.
Could you talk like maybe like 1 minute about what the Neighborhood Learning Center is and what that all entails and what services it provides and things like that?
I'm probably going to let staff come up and talk about the Neighborhood Learning Center as they have more information.
Everybody's nodding to everybody back there.
I'm Birgit Lemke, and I'm the program coordinator at the Neighborhood Learning Center. I have a little write-up what we do, so I'm just going to read to you.
Sure.
So I think everybody knows where it's located, right? It's on 305 West Mary Street, and we offer basic English instructions, citizenship classes in preparation for the citizenship test. And for our students, we also offer early childhood education, so our students can bring their children, and the children learn while the adults learn. And students bring their children, and then of course we also teach the parents how to get involved in USD 457 or help them. Like in the recent days, we've filled out numerous registration forms for the school. I mean, they have the forms in their backpacks, but our clients cannot read them, so they bring them to the Neighborhood Learning Center. We fill them out for them, and they give them back to the school. We help them, right now we help with kindergarten enrollment in the next day, so our community health workers will be busy taking the parents there. And we make sure that everybody in our community knows that that's what's taking place on May 2nd. So we also offer computer classes, and this is together with K-State Extension. Computer and nutrition classes, that's once a week. The basic English classes and the citizenship preparation classes are for Monday through Wednesday, and we have them 3 times a day, the classes. And then we have, on Thursdays, we have K-State coming in with computer classes and also nutrition classes. It kind of goes together. And in the summer, we're a site for the free summer food program for USD 457. And we also do activities with the kids at that time so that they continue to learn over the summer too. And then we offer, it's called a Wellness and Education Series. That's every Tuesday night. And different organizations come in and present their services to the community. We have 5 community health workers up there, and the community health workers speak Spanish, Burmese, Karen, Somali, French, and German, and we help the individuals to enhance their health and have access to healthcare, also access to social services. So we offer blood pressure checks and also blood sugar checks for the clients in risk. And we also have like walk-in hours. So the center is open from 10 to 6, basically, or 10:30 to 6. And we take walk-in hours, or we take walk-in clients during that whole time. The actual walking hours are supposed to be from 4 to 6, but people walk in through this whole time. And sometimes they're waiting, before we get there. Today's the end of the month, so we had 144 people walk in, and we provided services for them, just help them with the day-to-day living, make appointments for the doctors, take people to the doctors, translate at the doctors, and deal with healthcare. That's a lot of healthcare issues, health insurance issues as well. So, yeah.
I know the number of partnerships that you've been able to create has been incredible, and the number of organizations that support you and that you really bring in. And so, do you have an estimate about how many people you serve? I know it varies, but I know there has been many people come in and out your doors. I don't know if you have any informal counts or formal counts. No? Okay.
No.
Well, she said 144 today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
144
thinking.
walk-ins
That's
this month. I mean, so our clients are higher. It's a higher number than that, because just this month we served 144 people. Last month it was 130. So it's always around, over 100, between 100 and 150 monthly. And that's recorded once. We get so busy that we don't record things.
Yeah.
We're
That
bad
sounds
at
like
recording
busy.
things because
Goodness,
So, I mean, it is a service that is needed in that area, but we're not just serving that area. People, since the IRC closed, people are also coming from other parts of town, they're driving up there.
Are there other organizations that are using the Neighborhood Learning Center as a way to get grants or to implement their grants?
Yeah. Like USD 457 with a link project, they just came in and advertised, is that what you're asking
Right.
about? They just advertised their program and
Okay.
And the summer food program, I think.
summer
would be an
food
example, too.
program, yeah.
Russell does a learn to play.
Russell, yeah,
Right.
does, and we help our clients to connect with Russell, to get we periodically have like the safe sleep sessions there, because our clients a lot of times are not familiar, with that concept, and so we help Russell, or Russell comes in and we connect people with Russell Child. We also take our clients to ABC Pregnancy Center to learn about prenatal care, and to the hospital about prenatal care, because that's actually how our community health workers started, is because we realized that Burmese ladies would show up in the ER without any prenatal care and give birth. And so that's how the community health worker program started. in the first
K-State
place.
Extension relies on our numbers for their grant.
Stand up and
Yeah,
talk into the
yeah.
mic.
Callie Dyer, Executive Director for LiveWell. K-State Extension relies on Neighborhood Learning Center for their numbers for their grant as well. So.
Okay.
Questions?
Any more questions?
I mean, the work you're doing is incredible, and I know that almost everyone knows where the Neighborhood Learning Center is, so I think that speaks for itself. I mean,
Garden City
really-
Police Department,
Yeah, I was just gonna say Garden City Police Department, is there?
they're a huge partner of ours.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen the pictures.
we reach out to them, Catholic Charities, we use them.
I know National Night Out, there's a big party and celebration with the police
We hear
department,
that.
fire
Yeah.
department,
Yeah.
and
But
everybody that.
it's not just
goes out
National
and-
Night Out. I mean,
Well,
over the summer, the
I know.
officers
Yeah,
come
we-
up
Right.
there. for-
It's usually weekly that the police
Right.
department are up there for good reasons,
Right,
not
right.
bad reasons.
Right.
good.
We've partnered and it's helped. Chief, don't you think so that? Sorry.
No, if I can hold up your things, Callie. Chief Utes, Garden City Police Department. Yes, we partner with the Learning Center, and it's a great asset to the community. It also builds those bridges between us and different parts of the diverse cultures in our community. We're up there engaging with them. When they're not there, we're still up there. We've used the facility on occasion. We're out in the parking lot. Commissioners, you've rode with us up on National Night Out. You've seen firsthand the engagement we have with folks living up there and folks that visit up there at the Learning Center. It's a great asset. Somewhere I would hope to see the community to be able to continue this center, whether it's through grants or other funding.
I guess that's kind of the question, and I believe the operating budget was published in the paper, is that right, Mrs. Dyer? So we wouldn't be,
Yes.
we all know kind of what numbers we're working with.
Right.
So I think that it might, maybe I'm I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but is the question before us, yes, we would approve, or whether we would approve grants and seek that and be a sponsor, or are we looking at taking this on as a city department or a city project, in the same way that we provide other lines of service to community members? This is available to all in the community. I mean, is that really what this is to be discussed tonight? No, really, I mean, like, I don't know.
Yes,
Right.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
That's what
So,
we're talking about.
I was unable to attend the meeting on Saturday where they discuss about coming to this evening. I had a prior engagement on Saturday, but I had conversations with Ally, sending some ideas as far as grants. June's fast approaching, and we may not be able to get that funding secured before the time it closes. And so that is one of the things that we're trying to figure it all out, because all of the other revenues, funding is, we've had this funding for 6 years and it's coming to an end, and we have not been able to secure funding for that. Now, I will tell you, the services that are there, it's a need in your community, our community. Could it look different? Yes. Are there areas of need throughout our community? Yes. from the work that's been done through the violence prevention, as Commissioner Dick knows through his work in that area. We've made great strides in reducing violence in that area, almost to 40%, not quite 40%, but almost 40% from when that started. And we have some maps of needs in our community, that there are other areas of need in our community as well. And so, I just don't want it to be, we've made great strides in that community as well. And it started with violence, and that was the key, and it started with M&I, with maternal and infant care. And so those are great things. There are some challenges, but there are some things that I think that we could also do better. And so I'm willing to have those conversations, and Ally has been a great ear also to listen to. But Birgit does a wonderful job, and Birgit is, I will say, she's a key because people trust her.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't list everything that she does, as far as the social services that she provides, and the social services she provides when she's not on the clock as well. So.
But I really appreciate you talking about the model being something that is transferable or can be used others, that you've got a really good model going, and so this is maybe the start, but it could spread to other areas, or other areas especially of need in our communities. So I really appreciate that. The lessons learned, and like you said, the ways to really improve and then move forward, so that's...
Right, so as an idea is, before you build that fire station, maybe having a place in the fire station as another community center. Just as a thought,
So are you applying, you talked about grants, are you applying for grants currently
We have
right now?
applied for grants, but remember that every grant requires a sustainability
Right.
component of it, and for 6 years, we've not been able to sustain it. And even though we've had the partners, none of the partners have been able to, for lack of a better term, pony up the funds to be able to sustain it as well. So, but one of the things that we did not have in, the recent closing of IRC, and not sure if Family or Catholic Charities if they were going to be able to pick up that piece of it. So, and when I see things, and I just sent last week Marcy a opportunity for a grant. So we are still looking and seeing if there are some opportunities still out there for the Save the Center type of grant. So.
Well, I think this sets up the policy discussion for us, though, because, I think we all would agree that there's great merit in the services and great in need and all of these things. It's just recognizing that it would be great if grants come through, and but anybody, more than anyone, who is in a great grant-sustained organization,
Right.
This is how things sometimes go. And so the policy, I think, discussion for us, and I think not for tonight,
Right.
but certainly as we set up here to talk about it, is how do we structure this? How would we like this to go, and what do we want our involvement to be? And I think that's a really valid discussion. I'm glad you brought it to us.
And I appreciate you working through the Cultural Relations Board. I think that is a perfect, that advisory board to the city, I think they really can offer a lot of value in this whole discussion. So I think that's a wise partnership, so.
And I think if there's any support from the commission on applying for grants, if there's anything, if, we have to pass a resolution in support of grants, I think we'd be very favorable in doing that to help you achieving and getting a grant. I think we would do that for you.
Okay.
Again, it goes back to what Commissioner Burns said, where, that's a policy discussion on our part on how, from a budget standpoint, what that would look like. We would need to discuss that further down the road. Though we probably need to discuss it a little bit quicker because
There's a time frame.
There's a
Right.
time frame, I
Right.
understand, and we are in the
June is
middle,
looming, so.
in the
Right.
middle of budget season, so if we need to start looking at that, we need to kind of do that here pretty quickly too, so.
Right, because we all do better when we all do better, so.
And this might be this might be added to the part of the pre-meeting, or might be a pre-meeting where we could get a little more in-depth information and maybe analysis on this. That's what we do at our pre-meetings, but this might be a good pre-meeting topic as well.
Okay.
Thank
Happy to
you
provide-
for,
Yeah.
thank you
No.
for bringing it to us, but
No.
this might be something where we could discuss more at a pre-meeting as well and get more information.
Birgit, thank you for the great work.
Thank
And so-
you,
Yes,
yes.
and for all you didn't mention, so.
Thank you.
I should tell everybody who is in the audience and watching at home that my 3 children, that's who I'm
Three
making the funny
energetic-
faces
three
at.
energetic
It's
boys,
not,
yes.
it's not the lovely people from the Neighborhood Learning Center. I am trying to shoot darts with my eyes at my children. Thank you, Mr. Muirhead, for chasing them down. I'm trying to teach them about public engagement and service and behavior. And obviously, some days it works, some days it doesn't.
So thank you for the discussion we've had so
Yes.
far, and so if there's anyone else, especially those who are here, if you'd like to have additional comments, we'd like to have those, and then we'll check in to see if there's anything online or in social media, so. No, okay. Okay, yes,
Yes.
Irina.
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening.
My name is Reina, and I'm working with LiveWell as health community coordinator. And I would like to talk about what have we done. We start doing a survey, and we have physical issues and social issues results. I'll be brief. The priorities or concerns about our community neighbors were affordable health insurance, access to health and food options in second place. The third one, substance abuse and treatment, and facilities for physical activity. Those were the physical. On social issues were adult drugs or alcohol use. The second one, drinking and driving. And the third one, discrimination. I'm going to talk about the purpose of the grant, the goals, and my partner is going to talk about the expectations. The purpose is people who have experienced challenges, barriers in their life and community, and want you to be involved with us to work through the challenges and be part of the solutions and find other people who can help with the solutions too. The second one is the goal is to create an agenda to be a part of the facilitating the meetings. If you don't understand me, did you understand me?
Yes, yeah, facilitating the meetings, yeah, you're doing excellent, yeah, great job.
We've been doing doing meetings. We call them residents-led meetings, and we've been successful. We have 2 already, and we're happy because they come and express their concerns, and we want to help them to get the skills and be part of the solution as all we want to do it. And we're going to have our the third meeting on April 11th. And I hope that more people is going to come. And then it's going to make us happy, and it's going to be very good for our community. See, she's going to talk about the expectations. Any
Thank you.
question?
Yeah, thank you, Rena. So what's this work meant to you?
This word meant
Yes.
to me a lot because I was born to help people. And I enjoy it, really, doing something for anyone. I don't care who. But I notice, especially in a community or Latin people, Hispanic people, they sometimes, like me, can express themselves very well because of the language, their barriers. And if with all my heart I can do something for them, I'll be there. I'll be there. And I have to be prepared for many things because everything is new for me. I've been here just for 3 years, and I'm learning about the laws, about the education. Everything is new for me. So this one is new for me. Be in front of you, speaking my little English. It's,
You're doing wonderful.
it's difficult, but I try my best because of my people.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I will talk about the expectation. Is what skill and how to do need in working with the challenges identified on the service. We want work together with the residents and find the solution to all the community needed. We done the service in the service neighborhood. We went door to door. We went with the parent-teacher conference. We went to the shores, and we had a small meeting with the residents. And now we are ready for the next meeting and find the solution and all the problem. This is all the we are doing.
Thank you.
Thank
And your
you.
name is, you want to introduce yourself?
Sorry.
You want to introduce say your name?
My name is Rocio Moreno, and I am the community coordinator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys can't say these meetings are not over quickly anymore.
No, that's great, yeah.
So my name is Beth Coxall. My official job is the Director of Community Health at Live Well Finney County. But as I like to tell everyone, I'm kind of on loan to the hospital. So I'm gonna put my hospital hat on now. I would like to thank those of you that were able to attend our Feast of St. Catherine of Siena yesterday and learn about our Catholic identity as St. Catherine Hospital. This kind of seems like we kind of have a singular conversation going on tonight about diversity and how we are a very diverse community. So all this week, in celebration of our Mission Week, we're having a series of lunch and learns highlighting different religions from throughout Southwest Kansas. So today is Tuesday, so we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday left to learn about this week. So tomorrow we'll be learning about the Adventist faith, and they're our partners at Centura Health. It's a partnership between the Catholic health organizations and the Adventist Health, and they've come together to work together so we can learn more about that. Thursday we'll be learning about the Buddhist faiths and some of the other faiths of the Burmese population here in Garden City. And then Friday we'll be doing the Mormon faith. So we invite you guys to come down. Anyone watching in TV land too? They'll be from noon to 1 in Classroom B at St. Catherine Hospital.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Yep.
It's been excellent. I'm sure that the hospital is buzzing with activity and with all the other great things you do, but it's been a really great week for Mission Week, so.
Mhm.
Any other comments or questions or? So anything from out in we call it TV land. I don't even know if you're supposed to call it that anymore. So. Or on social media. No, on the social media world either. So. If you'd like to Snapchat, we can do that too. So.
I don't know.
We cannot actually.
Jennifer, I thought we were going to be
Policy about
Jennifer, I thought we were going to be cool, but I guess no, we're not.
We have a policy
Snapchatting.
about that, don't we?
Yes, we're not
Yeah.
Snapchatting yet. So. All right, someday.
I will bring up the community flag if.
Oh
that's
yeah,
the time.
no, yeah, please, that's great.
So the Makerspace organization has decided to take up the mantle with working on the community flag for Garden City. They're gonna do a series of processes, and we're kind of working out right now what that looks like. But the first meeting about looking at different designs and kind of things about that will be May 11th at the Garden City Community College, in the Gary Jarmer Annex. It'll be from 2 to 6 o'clock, and anybody who's interested, if you know how to design things, or if you don't know how to design things and you just like Garden City, come in, and it'll kind of kick off this process to kind of get the community thinking about a flag, and hopefully at the end of the process, through the summer, we can talk about those sorts of things, and then by the end of the summer, come to some conclusion about the community flag that was brought up by a community member who kind of started this whole conversation about a year ago. So
I would always appreciate when Mr. Matthew Blood showed up and was he had a great idea, and I mean, I learned a lot from him, and just his energy, I think and thank you for
Right.
picking that up, that's exciting. Any other comments?
Who gave him markers?
That's a great point. Well, we want to say thank you for coming tonight. This is really what this is for. It's to have an open forum and a discussion. The questions I know that you provided also, Ally, and so I think those are really an opportunity for us to ponder and think about. I think there's been a lot tonight that's been presented, and very well, and we really appreciate the opportunity for you to be here tonight. We don't want to leave. If there's anything else that you would like to make comment about, this is really what this time is for. But again, we also know that you have an evening that you need to get to also. So in our kind of blustery summer, spring, fall, whatever this day was, I have no idea. So
Typical Kansas weather.
yeah,
You know.
really. Yeah.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes,
Really.
it's been
Thank you.
really nice.
I am terrified to see what they've done to the walls out there.
Okay. Well,
Okay, well, with that, we're going to call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
thank you.
thank you.
It's good. It's okay.